Boom, boom, boom. What is up? Welcome back. We have another video. And before anybody gets mad about the obvious mess here, I would just like to point out this is all from this camera and it's organized. This is a K1000 I'm working on. And here's all the screws and gobbledygook that was attached to it. So technically it's not a mess because it is organized. It's an organized mess. And I also got the camera fixed. I really just have to put it back together again, which will be a super entertaining video for anybody who has like half an hour to waste. The dinosaur got knocked over. Anyway, we're not talking about this right now because there's a lot to get into. And I gotta run somewhere briefly before I get back. We're gonna talk about this. This is the black AE-1 from a few videos. I'm gonna put some tools away. I can probably clean that off. And I got it fixed. And it is working. So there was a couple comments that I wanted to address before getting into it too much. The issues that this camera had to begin with was it was just dead, not working. I suspected that there was a lot of gunk buildup, which there was. This thing was kind of disgusting. The tungsten wire was snapped, so I replaced that. And then I also assumed that this housing was not working, basically. And that's not a huge issue necessarily. Like if the stop down lever doesn't work, it's not like catastrophic. Like the camera should still work. But I think just in terms of getting the camera to work fully, that's one of the things that, you know, should be functional. And then also too, it could potentially affect the travel of the aperture lever there. So that's all working now. This moves freely. It was severely corroded, but it gave me the opportunity to separate the mirror box and to get the shutter gears here all cleaned out. Now there was a comment made about the status of the corrosiveness of all of the gunk and stuff, possibly affecting the shutter speeds themselves and the accuracy of them. And I addressed that in the comment, but I figured I'd talk about it in the video as well. Due to the fact that this is primarily an electronically controlled system, physical obstructions can, yes, affect the speeds of the shutter, but once those are cleaned out, if the electronics are in working order, it will work just fine. And I test this on the shutter speed tester and all the speeds registered well within the variance of acceptability. So that was awesome. But basically what I'm trying to say by saying that is that without power, if you were to like just manually fire the shutter, basically the curtains won't separate at all, but it will move at about 1/60th of a second. That's like the mechanical speed of the shutter. The electronics in here basically control the timing mechanism of the opening of the shutter and the closing of the second shutter. So if it's, I have it at 1/4 of a second right here, basically the first will go off and then there's an internal timing mechanism in here that will register 1/4 of a second and then the second shutter will close. So it's kind of a complicated system, but nuts and bolts, that's how it works. And if it isn't working, it will be much more evident. Now, shutter speeds in the past have not worked on these systems for a number of reasons, such as the tungsten wire being disconnected, such as the magnets being no longer magnetized. But at that point too, the shutter just will fully not work. So really it is beneficial because it's one of those like where there's smoke, there's fire kind of things, except it's mostly just fire, if that makes sense. Instead of like small indicators of potential problems, it's usually like the whole system itself is bricked. So that's beneficial and has been super helpful with these systems in particular in terms of repairing them. But that was pretty much it. I just wanted to briefly go over that. And something I didn't mention in the video, but I want to talk about now, while my neighbors parade upstairs. I think I have it. I had it out somewhere. Let's see if I can find it really quickly. But you'll notice that the insignias and stuff look really clean. And that's because I use this. It's a paint stick I don't really exactly know what it is, but what I'll do, it's a little bit of a precarious method, but it's always worked for me in the past, is just cut off a little bit of the top and then just kind of rub it around here. Because there's an indent here, it'll just make the colors pop more. Let it kind of dry a little bit and then run over with like a Q-tip or like a cloth or something, get all the excess off, and it just really makes these pop a lot more. So that's another like minor thing that you can do to just really improve the overall visual quality of the system. And I have like multiple different colors of this, but I find that it's most notable in the like black cameras, because the white and the black add such a good contrast. Whereas with like the silver cameras or the gray cameras, it's a little bit more subdued, I think. I don't know, there's just something about this just pops a lot more than this, but maybe that's just me. So anyway, that's pretty much it. That's the conclusion to the AE-1 repair. All told, did pretty much a full overhaul on the system. It was definitely worth the repair, and I appreciated the feedback that I got on that. But I just wanted to make a conclusion, because I'm really bad about recording part 2s to videos and just conclusive thoughts on them. So I hope that this is beneficial. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I have like multiple AE-1 camera bodies, so if ever you want to see like a very specific repair, comment below and I will get to that, or I'll probably have a video on it already, because I think I've covered most of the more common repairs on this camera. But if you have any like weird oddities, please let me know. I'd be happy to look into it. And cool, I think that about does it for now. Appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed the series. It was pretty rewarding to work on, I would say. But yeah, thank you again. I'll catch you on the next one.